Two NFL stars caught on video doing something amazing when it comes to accessibility. You're going to see it for yourself today on Driven by Purpose.
This is Driven by Purpose, a show about finding your purpose, building fulfilling careers, and helping people with disabilities live better lives. Hosted by three men who've lived it and are here to help you do the same. Special thanks to our presenting sponsor, Clean Logic, a leading bath and skincare company and a true pioneer in creating inclusive workplaces and increasing employment opportunities for people with disabilities.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Driven by Purpose. My name is Evan, along with the two co-founders of Clean Logic and the Inspiration Foundation, Isaac Shapiro and Mike Guess. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, Evan?
What's up, Evan?
I got to give props. I got to give props when companies and organizations do things right. You know how fired up I was to talk about Disneyland when we went to Disneyland, and they did so many things right when it comes to how they treat people with disabilities and the accessibility they had there. I was talking about it for like weeks after we went. Well, now I'm turning the focus on an NFL team because we went to El Segundo to go see my son's favorite NFL team, the Los Angeles Chargers. And we didn't call in any favors. I know players on the team. I know people who work on the team. I know people who work in the organization. I know people who were connected there. We didn't call anybody. We just went. My daughter, she's 11. We showed up. She was in a wheelchair. We showed up. My son, he's 8. He's a massive Los Angeles Chargers fan. We showed up. And I got to tell you, this team does it amazingly correct when it comes to accessibility for people with disabilities. And I got to call out two stars in particular who were amazing. Tony Jefferson and Derwin James. Two of the big stars on the team. Derwin James might be one of the biggest stars in the entire NFL. And Tony Jefferson has been around a very, very long time and has earned the reputation of being one of the nicest guys in the NFL. And I got to tell you, the organization, these players in particular, I can't wait to tell you all the amazing stuff that happened when we visited the Chargers training camp and just how incredible it was. Do you want me to start at the beginning, everybody?
No, well,
It's a good place.
All right. Well, I think first I would really like to make sure we preface this because when we had the Eagles at our ribbon cutting,
Yeah.
they have been building out the most accessible team, putting in what's it called? No, Mike, what do you call it? I apologize. Not noise rooms, but
Sensory rooms.
Oh, like
sensory
okay,
rooms.
sensory
Thank
rooms,
you.
okay.
sensory rooms and everything.
Mhm.
So I really do believe what they've been doing, especially around neurodiversity, they have set the ground against any team in the NFL. So I'm really interested in hearing about the Chargers because, I think they have so much engagement with their communities. And as we know, we want to see more into the disability community.
Sounds though this is more player specific.
No, all the different parts of the organization were amazing. And
Okay.
I want to shout that out because it wasn't just the players. The players were the most exciting part because, how amazing is it to interface with team captain Derwin James and having him talk directly to your daughter who's using a communication device. Now, for those who don't know, my daughter is nonverbal, right? She uses a communication device to communicate. And what he did when they came face to face not only impressed me and my wife and my son and my daughter, but it also impressed somebody whose praise means the world to me. And that is my daughter's AAC communication specialist, Allie Steers, who commented when I posted the video, she was amazed and gave Derwin James and Tony Jefferson all the props in the world on how they communicated with my nonverbal daughter.
You gotta explain.
And I will get to it. Actually, you know what? Let's just get right into it.
Well, Evan, real quick, just to set the stage a little bit, because I know you're actually doing a call with us. And did you do that with a group of other
I was doing the
people?
call with you from the thing. That's right.
No, but if I remember, were you with a group of other people with disabilities?
Yeah.
there,
All right. All right. So also
yeah.
the beginning.
So let's
Okay.
set the stage for everything that was going on.
we pull up. There's a big parking facility, and what you have to do is you have to park in the parking lot, and then you have to take the buses over to the practice area. Okay. And so, we have our van, which is a wheelchair accessible van, and we parked in a handicap accessible, an accessible parking spot, which is great. They had plenty of accessible parking, which was first thing that I was impressed by. And then once you park in the accessible parking, they had typical buses for all the able-bodied people to get on. And then they also had a fleet of accessible buses for people in wheelchairs, which was amazing. Wow. They were already on standby.
Yep.
So I was on a video call with Isaac talking about this show, and I was on my video call. We were pushing Sydney onto the accessible bus, which was great, with other people with disabilities on the same bus. And it wasn't like some crappy bus. It was a beautiful bus. It was a state-of-the-art bus. It was brand new. It was clean. The driver was super nice. The staff that helped us get on the bus, everybody was great. And that's super important.
Yeah.
Because we've been at places and interface with other people, and they're just like, they don't treat you great, but everybody, including the parking staff, was great. They helped us they made sure that we were safe. They made sure that we were treated with respect. They got us on the bus, and then we drove right up to the practice field. So then we get on the, go ahead, Isaac.
I think what it sounded even more amazing is, did you tell them before you're coming with someone in a wheelchair, or you just like hoping to have, like, that's what I'm trying to say.
We asked if they had, if the practice was going to be accessible for a person in a wheelchair, and they said yes. So we're like, great. So the first thing was the transportation over to the field, which was 10 out of 10. Okay. Bolt up. Let's go. So we get on the bus, we get over to the facility, to the practice field, we get there. And once we get there, again, the situation was great. There were some areas that involved stairs and stuff like that, but they had it all ramped up everywhere that seemed like it was, a little treacherous in terms of wheelchairing. There was ramps and signs, and there were people everywhere that were right in our face to help us out in a positive, good way. Everybody that was staffed up couldn't have been more helpful. Getting through security, they were super helpful. Once we got in, they made sure to let us know exactly where the area, the accessible area was, because they had an area to make sure that Sydney, along with a chaperone, another person with her, could be in an area so she could be close. So she, because they know, they've done this enough times that when you go there, everybody just gets so excited that when the players come out and everybody's trying to get an autograph, that it just, something comes over the fans, the kids and the adults. Everybody just rushes to the front, and they know this. They've done this enough times. So there is a specific area for people with disabilities, whether it's walkers or wheelchairs or whatever. They have a special area so they don't get caught in the crowd crush, right? So they're like, this is where you could be when the players sign autographs and they want to take pictures, stuff like that. You go to this area and you'll be safe.
Sydney, did you get the best spot in the house? Look, they're right there.
So we're like, amazing. And it's not like you're out in the middle of nowhere. You're still in the middle of the crowd. You're still feeling the energy. You're in the middle of it. And that's all great. But before we get to there, like, I just want to say, like, the whole area was wheelchair accessible. Everything, every place that we needed to go, Sydney was able to go with us. There was shade, there was water, everything was great.
They covered all bases.
They covered all the bases, and the staff couldn't have been nicer. Everybody, every single person that we interacted with was great. I can't talk
it's
about
like
it
Disneyland,
enough.
but for football practice.
Exactly. And then they took us over to the accessible area. When practice was over, they're like, look, they're not going to start signing autographs until, the end of practice. So make sure that Sydney's in this area. So we sat down next to this woman who happened to be a teacher who works with kids with disabilities and understands, and works with kids who are nonverbal and use a communication device, just like Sydney. So I'm with Sydney, and the woman next to us is talking to Sydney using Sydney's communication system, which is Pod. So she's telling Sydney all about the Chargers players, and Sydney's communicating back, and they're talking all about the Chargers. And then the players come. Okay. And Tony Jefferson and Derwin James are the biggest stars, but there are all these other players that come in. I don't want to take credit away from them because all these players come over. And when they come over, they see Sydney and they all stop and they all go, hey, David Njoku came over. A bunch of the rookies came over, which were really great. And all these players come over and they all made time for everybody, especially Sydney. And Sydney had a message on her computer device that said, let's go Chargers. We're going to the Super Bowl this year. And every time they would come over, I would tell the players, I would say, hey, my daughter's nonverbal, but if you have a second, she'd love to play a message for you.
Hi, she's nonverbal, but she has a message for you.
Gotta win the Super Bowl this year.
She said, let's go Chargers. We're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, we are. In LA.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Can she play her message for you? Yes. Okay, sit here. Play the message. Ready? Can you hear it?
Super Bowl Chargers are gonna win this year. Yeah, let's go.
And every single time, even though they were being pulled in a bunch of different directions, they would say, absolutely, please play. And this is why Ali Steers, the woman who I was telling you about, was so impressed, because the players wouldn't look at me, right? Even though I was talking to them, I'd say, my daughter has a message. They would look directly at Sydney. And she would play the message, and then they would talk directly to Sydney. You can see it in this video. They're not looking at me. They're not talking to my stupid face. They're looking at Sydney, and they are communicating, because it's not my message. It's her message. She's talking to them. And so she goes, let's go Chargers. We're going to the Super Bowl. And you can see her hands pressing the button. She's pressing the button. She's talking to them. And then they talk directly to her. And she was blown away. She can't believe it. Every single time.
Right.
Like, do I think that she understands the gravity of Derwin James, who Derwin James is? No. But do I think that she understands that he's a Chargers player and that she feels special because he's on the field and he comes all the way over and all these people are around him and they all want his autograph and they're all saying, Derwin, Derwin, Derwin. And he comes over to her and he's talking to her and making her feel special. Do I think that she appreciates and understands that moment? 1,000,000% I do.
Yeah.
And after, on the way home, in the car on the way home, it was go Chargers, go Chargers, go Chargers. She was telling all of her friends, all she wanted to do is she has the button on her computer that was like FaceTime grandpa, FaceTime cousins, FaceTime everybody. All she wanted to do was FaceTime everybody and tell everybody how she took pictures and talked to all the Chargers players. The day that we're shooting this right now is Sydney's first day at school, and she made me put that video on her computer so she could go on her first day of school and show all of her friends how she talked to the Chargers.
So, Evan, it sounds like you're a Charger for life.
Well, you know what I tell you guys on the show. If you do right by my daughter, then I'm yours.
Yeah.
I'm yours. And
what was your team before the Chargers? Now,
I grew up a Raiders fan, and and my bar mitzvah theme was the Raiders. I love the Raiders, but the way that the Chargers treated my daughter and my son and my whole family, I am so grateful to them. And again, I don't think it's that hard. It's just the right thing to do. And
they did it right.
And by the way, I looked around and we had, like we said at the beginning of the show, Isaac, we were on that bus with other people, other families with kids with disabilities, other people with disabilities. And they were just as excited, and they got as much one-on-one time with people like Tony Jefferson, who, by the way, I know I'm talking about Derwin James, but Tony Jefferson was so amazing. I mean, he gave us so much time. Like, he was great. And then he reposted the video of Sydney. He was so proud of her.
But Evan, what kind of reminds me a little bit, I don't know if it ties back to that episode we had when we were talking about bullying and like sports teams and players, how they have an impact, at that time.
You're right.
Like, here's another impact. Like, we think about, players and how sometimes, the bad ones, they don't sign autographs but it sounds like this is like an important piece, and it kind of goes back to like how they play an important role in our community, because we've talked about it from that bullying standpoint. It just makes me think
can I tell you
just
something?
bring me back to that a little bit. I don't know why, but even though they might not have it, but it sounds like they have an impact there.
It's a massive point that you're making. Yes, 1,000%. That athletes, especially high profile athletes, have a huge impact in the lives of kids and stuff like that. You're 1,000,000% right. The other thing is, neither Tony nor Derwin actually signed anything for my daughter, but it didn't matter because they gave her their time and they gave her that interaction. And I think that was more important than an autograph. I think that moment was so cool. And I'll take that over an autograph 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000 times. Just saying.
So I agree with that. I think it's the attention that makes a lot of the difference because, autographs are, like, different people have placed different values on it. But like as a kid, especially, like if someone that's like a famous athlete or something like that gives you the attention, that's what matters most.
so
You know what
cool.
I mean? Do you think it sounds like accessibility is part of their program over at the Chargers, obviously, with the things that you were talking about that set it up? Do you think they also put training into the players?
I was wondering about that because I hadn't thought about that until Allie mentioned how impressed she was at the way that the players conducted themselves in regards to talking directly to my daughter. And then I thought to myself, I wonder if they had gotten some training about how to interact with nonverbal communicators. I don't know.
It wouldn't surprise me. I know at the Eagles, they do that, right? With the Eagles Autism Foundation being so closely related to the Eagles, everybody in the organization, no matter who you are, there is training around that. And there's a lot of things that Eagles do with children who are disabled as well as just adults as well. So that's why I asked the question. I know what they do with the Eagles. I was wondering if you thought that maybe the Chargers have some type of similar.
I don't know, but I will say this. I can only tell you what our experience was like. And our experience was great. And if there is another NFL team representative or somebody who works for another sports team, whether it's an NFL team or a high school team or a youth team or whatever it is, or if you are watching this and you are on track to be an athlete one day, I want you to hear me loud and clear on this. 30 seconds from a professional athlete a few weeks ago is giving my whole family this feeling of euphoria still. And it's made us a fan probably for the rest of our lives. 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Right? We had an amazing experience that day, followed by incredible interaction with 2 stars who just treated my daughter just like a regular person she is. And they were kind to her and they were sweet to her and they gave her a memory that she'll never forget. And you got us hooked for life, man. And then, by the way, at the end of practice,
can I
go
add
ahead.
one thing on there because it's a good segue a little bit in why accessibility is good for business. So, if you're someone at the Chargers box office can call Evan for his season ticket, you're now making money. See what accessibility does?
You're so right.
Yeah,
You're
100%.
so right. Just take my money.
This is
Just
what
take it.
accessibility does.
We did drop
for
$200 at the
businesses.
gift shop before we left.
Yeah.
We bought like all this stuff. I have like a chain. I've got a giant Chargers chain. We've got shirts galore. I've got, oh my God, all this stuff. But by the way, I should end with this, that when we finally left Chargers training camp and we waited by the buses, guess what? The accessible bus was there waiting for us to take us back to our car. What
Amazing.
a great ending. It was perfect.
The so the bus, did it have like ramp or did it have like a lift?
It was a lift.
A lift.
Mhm.
Cool.
It was a lift. And the bus driver was super nice and everybody was cool. And by the way, all the other people that were on the bus that were leaving were just as happy and thrilled and had a great experience the same way we did, man. It was awesome. We had the best time. We met a guy there who dresses up at every game. He wears a costume to every Chargers game. Every
He's
single
diehard.
I think you
single
should
one.
join them. I know we're ending, but maybe we can do like a show with you too and talking about, the Chargers. and
Well,
your
what you
diehard
guys
show.
need to do next time is you guys need to go to Eagles training camp, and we need to do a compare and contrast. We
I
need
think
see
you
how
need to
they
do a
hold up.
comparison, Mike. I think we
Yeah.
should figure out because I've always seen as the Eagles are the most accessible team, but that sounds pretty
Yeah, so I
accessible.
went to an Eagles training camp. I didn't go this year, but I'll tell you, it's on deck for next year for sure, and I'm going to do the accessibility test.
Let's see how it goes. All right,
Absolutely.
that's gonna do it for us here at Driven by Purpose. Go Chargers! Come on, man.
Go
You guys killed
Chargers.
it. I'm very impressed. Look, if you like what you heard today and you want more, join. Look, first off, continue to we got to get props when people do things right, because you hear a lot of people
1000%.
complain when they do things wrong, and you should call out people when they do things wrong for sure. But you got to get props when people do things right. So
Absolutely.
that's what we're doing here today. Support the community, man. Like, subscribe, follow along. We love that. And tell a friend about the podcast and the show, and follow us on all the social media platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. All of them. We're on it. We're on
All
every
the
single
things,
one.
all the things.
All the things. Driven by Purpose. See you next time. Peace.
Thank you.
Peace.